and welcome to the J5 Agent Fleet demo. I'm Brett Sanders. So starts out on a dashboard, and this is just kind of a high-level glance look at what your system is doing. I can see that in the last 7 days, I shipped 2 projects, 35 tasks in the last 24 hours. Lifetime, it estimates, and take that with a grain of salt, but it estimates 4,101 human days of equivalent work has been done using this platform. I don't know how it calculates it, so I don't put a lot of stock into it, but that's kind of interesting. Last 7 days, I've used 16 million tokens and spent about $48 in API costs for LLMs. But yeah, this page just kind of shows you everything at a glance. Some recent projects that I've worked on, some of the activity of the agent fleet. I could see some failed tasks that might need attention. So that's just kind of a landing page. And then if we go to directory under the employees section, this is your agent fleet. And so I got these from collecting them in open source repos. I've added a bunch, but think of these as your digital employees. And you can put them into different departments. For example, I have an engineering department. I have an AI engineer in there, AWS cloud architect, backend architect. So I have about 64 exactly, actually. And from here, you can chat with your individual agents. You can assign a task to one specifically. You can even fire an agent if it's not working out for you. And so when you fire an agent, it just goes to your alumni section in case you decide, oh, you feel bad, you want to bring them back. Or if you just want to delete them permanently, you can go to your alumni and delete them there. And of course, every individual, every business is different. You're going to want to hire employees that make sense for you. And so you would click the Hire Employee button. You would give it a name, give it a brief description. You can color code it how you'd like, put it in an existing department or a new department. And then you have your agent definition, which this is in Markdown. And you could use AI to help you write this. And so I have a bunch of different models that I have set up inside of this platform. So I have API variants, CLI, and you can even run a local model like using LM Studio. So what you would do here is if you want to add a new employee with a specific skill or area of focus, you could type this in yourself. You could upload a Markdown document if you want to, quote, bring your own employee. You could even just put documentation links in here. Like say you want an agent that focuses on some external service. You could paste in all the documentation links for that service and say, generate for me. And yeah, voila, you have a new agent in your directory. Next up is chat. And this is to be able to chat with your agents. And so if you just want to brainstorm with an agent, you just want to ask what their purpose is. You want to ask, what are some of the things they've worked on recently? This would be the place you could do that. And you could even add the chat to a new task. So if you want some work to be done based on your conversation with your agent, that's an easy way to do that. This next one, this is just kind of for fun. This is the digital office. And it doesn't really do anything yet or right now. Right now, it's just kind of fun to look at. I don't have all the departments. Nice little Easter egg here. I got some scenes from the office space up on the wall. But yeah, the idea for this eventually is that we'll be able to see the agents, which agents are working together. There'll be some indicator of which agent is doing active work, and you can click on it and see what it's doing. So it's just another way to see what's going on in your agent fleet. So now we get onto the task section. So this is where you create individual tasks. So these are individual tasks. These are one-offs. I do a lot of my building on this platform using the task functionality. And you see I have running tasks, none at the moment, or there was briefly. One-time scheduled tasks, something you want to do in the future. And then completed tasks. So you can see everything that you've done in the history. You can run tasks again. Sometimes I will use an API as my model choice. So when you do that, you can see the cost of what that task was. So 2 cents for this one. So I can see which collaborators worked on it, which agents. So pretty handy. So if I go into one of these, Let's see. Oh yeah, I had a Vercel build error this morning. Vercel. And so all I did is I pasted in, I made a new task, and I picked Copilot as my model. And this is for the repository J5 Fleet Agent Cloud. So this is the cloud version of my J5 Agent Fleet. What you're looking at right now is actually the local version running on my machine. But I had an issue in Vercel with the cloud build, so I just pasted in the link to my Vercel build, and the agent orchestrator picked it up and thought our DevOps automator might be a good agent to bring in for this. And we got a consultation from that agent, and then it passed that feedback over to our Vercel engineer to do the actual work. So if we open up the consultation, so you can read. It looked into the issue. It gave us some thoughts about what it thinks we should do. You can copy this. You can download it as a markdown file. You can maximize this for easier reading. And one cool feature is you can even chat with the task. So if you're not sure what a task did, or you have follow-up questions, or maybe you just want to tell it, I don't think you're quite done, can you do this additional work item or feature? It can do that here if you'd like. And then the Vercel agent actually went in and looked at it, saw what the issue was, made the code fix, pushed it up to Vercel, and fixed my build. So that was pretty cool. And it only took me, 30 seconds to go see that error was happening, paste it in here, and click go. This next feature is brand new. So this is workflows. This is a little bit inspired by N8N. But the idea here is that you can set up repeatable workflows. So you'll have a start point, obviously. This is just a demo. I just started building this one. So in this particular workflow, I'm doing an async task, meaning it can run as soon as it gets triggered. There's no prerequisite. Just go ahead and fire as soon as you get triggered. So this is just tell me a joke. I'm using Amazon Kiro for that. And then for this other path, this is a synchronous task where I'm saying, get the weather from my zip code. I'm in 9/20/20, and pass that information on to the next task, which is, okay, what clothing should I wear based on the context you got from the previous task? So this isn't a very useful workflow, but you can imagine these could be as complex as you'd like them to be. You could use any agents. So really anything you need to do in a repeated fashion, this would be a good way to do it. So I'll be adding a lot more to this, but I'm really just in the early stages of this feature right now. And then projects, this is different than tasks where, say you have a bigger idea, a bigger project, and you want to use AI to help you decompose that into features, stories, and tasks. And I use this a lot for a lot of the big features that I've built out on this platform. For example, that workflow feature that we were looking at, that was entirely built by this platform. So it's a platform building the platform, which is kind of cool. I used Opus for planning this feature out, and I had Opus create a bunch of GitHub issues for me. And so what I did in this project is I just passed them all in as a description of the project. After that, I clicked Start Project, or Plan Project rather. And so that broke that down into a bunch of stories, tasks, and features. So everything from issue triage, implementation sequencing, so the data model implementation, deliver workflow domain and API changes. So building out the actual application UI. There's also workflow validation, regression testing, release readiness. So all of those were passed in the decomposition. So I just had to pass in the idea, some context, and the AI broke it down into manageable tasks. Similar to tasks, you can also chat with your project. If you have any questions, what was done here? Can you describe some feature in more detail? This would be a place that you could do it. This is a completed project. However, when it's active, you can see the Kanban board. So this will show tasks as they move throughout the project. So they'll start in the backlog. You'll see tasks move into ready, in progress, and eventually to the done column. If there's a error or something breaks, that would go to the need attention column. For me, that's usually because I've ran out of tokens and I need to switch my models. And there's this timeline view, so you can see what task fired when. It's kind of like in a Gantt style chart. When you're in the planning mode, you can come in here. Let me show you a different page actually. But you can change the models you use for the specific tasks that were generated. So here's a project I have coming up for Composio integration. So these are all the tasks that were created. Right now I have a mixture of Cloud Code and Kiro. But say, oh, you know what, I don't want to use Kiro. For these two, let me change them over to, I don't know, let's say Gemini. Okay, so now those two tasks will run on Gemini instead of Kiro. Then going back to a completed project, of course, there's an activity. So you can see everything that was done, when it was done. You can drill into those if you want to see more details about the task. So a lot of good visibility, audit tracking, and you can see everything that happened in the project. So this is the research lab. I have a couple newsletters that I generate out of this. Right now I have a daily newsletter. So this is a daily research brief. I have it go get some price of VOO, Bitcoin, get the weather, give me 3 stories on various topics, give me a summary of what the story is about. And that gets sent to my inbox every day at the scheduled time. So this fires off at 7 a.m. You can check the run history for these. You can view the reports. So I'll drill into one of these reports, research lab reports. So I got an executive summary. I got some market data that I asked for, technology, business, crypto, key takeaways, and then links to all the articles. But yeah, that's just one use case for it. Really, you could set up the research lab for any kind of recurring task, anything that you would need reports for, anything you'd want scheduled. But yeah, so the newsletters are just one use case for it. You can use your imagination, really anything you want to do research on and get reports on some cadence. This is a good way to do it. Then I have a repository screen. So this is just a way to see what repositories you have locally. It has GitHub connectivity. You can see your GitHub repos. It has GitLab. I don't have it connected right now. This is kind of nice. You can drill into one of your repos locally, and you can see some metrics about work you've done in that repo using this platform. So I've been very busy on this J5 agent fleet local. You can see 2,335 linked tasks. None are running right now. I've run 19 projects that had something to do with this application or this repository. And you can see some just kind of metrics, a little bar chart. You can see your recent task history for this repo. And of course, you can chat with the repo if you have questions about it, explain what this repo is, do some brainstorming in this repo. This is bookmark tasks. So any task that you like, you want to be able to find again, something that you want to run again, but maybe not on a schedule. I have one that's kind of fun, surprise enhancement. So on this task, it will add something new to my platform that's relatively small, but just adds value to the platform. So, I could run that again right now. I just want to check what model I have for this. Kiro, all right. Now let's change that actually. Let's do Copilot. And run again. So we'll come back and check on that in a minute. Surprise enhancement, recurring task, that's just what it sounds. So these are tasks that you want to run on some cadence. It could be daily, weekly, every 2 hours. You can also see your research lab projects in here as well. We had a calendar view. There's a week view, task, and then a day view. Now we're moving into the system area. We have a approvals feature. So this is our human in the loop functionality. So this is where you can define places where you want to be looped into some part of the process. Like for me, I have one where I require a project plan review. So it shouldn't start any projects until I've had a chance to review what the plan is. You can set these up any way you want. I have various checkpoints right now. Project plan ready, merge ready, QA complete. So I'll probably be adding more checkpoints, but those are the ones that I have right now. And we have a cost explorer. So I can see that I have my monthly subscriptions. You have a place to configure those and how much you're paying. You can see your API spends, which might be on top of your subscriptions as well. I can see what days I've been active. I can click on one of these days. Pretty active this day. So 100 tasks cost me $35. You can set up a budget, like your max spend. This could just be a warning type of budget, or you could actually cause things to stop. So like a hard budget. You can also look at these at your costs by agent, by model, by project. There's your subscription configuration again. Here you can set up your budgets. And incidents would be anytime you went over your budget, essentially. So documents, on your tasks and your projects, you have the ability to upload markdown files, images, context, anything you really want to upload to your task. And I thought it'd just be good to have a way to have a repository where we could see all of those. So this one was an image. I was trying to fix a text clipping issue. You see the text is spilling out there. If I want to, I can click on this task and go see how the platform fixed it. That's pretty much it for that. Integrations, not many yet. I have GitHub, GitLab, Telegram for messaging, and Resend. Resend is a email client or platform to send emails. I have key management. So you can put your secrets in here, anything that your models or your agents need to be able to do their work. Memory, this is kind of in progress. This is storing just basic memory about your tasks, about your projects. I don't have it tightly wired into the entire workflow right now. And the reason for that is that I didn't want to bloat context. You have a lot of granularity on what kind of context you pass into your tasks already. But I do plan to do something with this. I just thought it'd be good to start tracking the memory. And this is being tracked with Qdrint and QMD for fast markdown searching. So more to come on this. I just haven't quite figured out the right way I want to implement it yet without blowing up your context and your token usage. We have an area to configure your models. So I have my various providers here. I have Anthropic. I got Amazon Bedrock. I have OpenAI. So I have my 9 API providers right now. I have CLI, so GitHub, OpenAI, Anthropic, Cursor, Google Gemini. And then I have one local model set up, which is LM Studio running Qwen 3.6. You can also sort these by provider. And if you just want to make sure everything's working, you can test all of your various model providers. Looks like all are good for me right now. I don't see there goes the local model. And that's working as expected as well. On this page, we have observability. So there's kind of an overview of your system, how many AI calls today I've made, average latency, error rate, how many tokens I've used today. I can see some of my recent errors and warnings. This is my application performance page. So you can filter by log type, okay, error, some time frame. So this helps me see which of my routes are slow, API calls are slow, which pages are loading slow. I can sort by duration. So I could see the wiki page took a god-awful amount of time to load. So I'm going to look into that after this video. This is some logging around your AI models, specifically your AI calls. You can see how long they ran, if the status was okay, which model was used, how many tokens, all that good stuff. You could filter on the model. And this is logging for the application. So this is just general logging, info, warning, errors. You can look at the app itself, which is this web application we're looking at, or the worker, which is the background process that's doing all the sort of kicking off of agents and CLIs and things like that. Events is just another way to see different things happening in your system. So here's an error. This is a console log error that happened not too long ago. So that's something I have to look into. And what's nice about it is I can add this to a task. So this will take you to the new task screen. It will paste in the details of that error. Fix this error. Don't box it. Fix this error. If I could type today. Don't need any documentation. We're already in the right repository. We can use Copilot for that. So you have one time, you have as soon as possible, you have one time, a recurring. I'm just going to do as soon as possible for now. I could create this in a new branch. I could create a pull request when it's done, use a work tree. If you have multiple agents working in the same code base, you might want a work tree so that they don't step on each other's toes. I'm just going to work right in the main branch right now, YOLO. So we'll let that get to work. And if I go to the tasks, I can see that fix this error has started, and we can open this task. And if we scroll down, we see the description that came from the logs. Okay, see the agent orchestrator roped in a web app performance agent, a browser automation agent, and ultimately it's going to choose the front-end developer to fix this issue. So these are underway, but let's go back to observability while that's working. So we also have the doctor here. This is a AI-assisted kind of diagnostic and repair tool. So you can pick a time range, say in the last hour, today, or the last week, and use this platform to diagnose the platform and tell me things that have been wrong in the logs and how it thinks we should fix them. I see something about SQLite schema drift. I could add that to a task. I could add all the recommendations to a task. It's nice too. You can look at your previous reports. You can look at your previous reports, your historical reports and diagnosis reports. So that is observability. I'm going to move on to onboarding now. Probably should have showed this first. But this is what you would see when you're first starting up this application and you're new to it. You can choose what providers you want to set up. I have all of these set up right now, but if you just want to look at one, I can go next. And here you can set your OpenAI API key, test that it's working. That's working. I could see if my CLI is working. There's some instructions here on how to set up your CLI. So that's working, very good. And you can test all if you'd like. And it looks like all of my APIs and CLIs are working as expected, which is good. There is a reporting suite. So this is a way to generate reports on the work that's been done. You could pick a time frame, say today, last 7 days, this month. You can choose which model you want to use to generate the report. This typically takes 20 seconds to about a minute at the most. Probably depends on your time frame. But yeah, let's look at one of these. So here's a report I ran not too long ago. It says in this reporting window, we delivered, the delivery included 1 ship feature, 3 completed user stories, 1 project brought to completion, 333 tasks finished successfully across 1 project, 84% of completed runs succeeded. It's not 100% because when I'm working on this platform, sometimes I break this platform. You would typically see 100% if you're not working on this platform itself, you're working on something outside of it. And assuming you have tokens and you don't run out of your API costs. But yeah, I could see how many tasks were finished, projects that were completed in this window, my spend, and the equivalent of human days to do this work. It thinks that'd be about 223. Who knows how it calculates it? And I don't think it's that simple, but yeah, it's not something a human could do in that same time frame. We know that. So yeah, there's an executive narrative here, kind of a summary about what was done, value that was delivered, speed and leverage. So product and platform progress, some risks and friction related to probably some of those tasks that failed. And we got kind of a bottom line wrap up. And then at the bottom, there's just some metrics, tasks completed, successful tasks, tasks per day, average task duration, the human equivalent effort estimate, more details on that, and our delivery evidence. And you can download this as a PDF as well. So there you go. I have a bug where the header is getting cut off, but basically a lot of the same info in PDF format. And finally, there is a wiki. Yeah, so here's the wiki that covers all the features and functionality that we just covered. And there are some diagrams in here so you can get a better understanding of how things work. So yeah, that is the J5 agent fleet. You may be asking, how can I get my hands on this? I haven't released anything yet. I have the local web app. I have a cloud native version, which uses managed workers, fly machines to run these tasks for you. I have a Electron desktop app, and it's on my roadmap to build an iOS app. So go to my website. I'll put that in the description and sign up for the waitlist. And thank you for watching. Appreciate it.